This is Dr. David Deshine, and welcome to a special Saving America episode where I award the well-deserved F grade to a politician, so-called celebrity, or another deserving waste of space who ends up in the public eye. The badge of dishonor today belongs to Bernie the Fraud Sanders, the senator from Vermont. I say fraud since he claims to be a socialist, but is worth about $3 million. Last I heard, he has 3 houses. Here's an exchange we're going to read. We try not to do too many quotes. Reminded by the Times reporter that he is now someone of considerable means, Sanders retorted, I wrote a best-selling book. If you write a best-selling book, you can be a millionaire too. Folks, Bernie may have missed that in his promotion material. That's capitalism, you idiot. Yes, folks. So what have you got here? As I explained before, the only successful economic system in the history of the world is capitalism. Bernie, a typical socialist advocate, wants everybody else to live in poverty while he lives the good life on a government pension and books that only sold because he was in office on the public payroll. As I explained before, the only successful economic system in the history of the world is capitalism. Bernie, a typical socialist advocate, wants everybody else to live in poverty while he lives the good life on a government pension and books that only sold because he was in office on the public payroll. Bernie has supported communist governments around the world, many of which have subsequently failed. I couldn't find the information on it, but I believe he and his wife allegedly honeymooned in Moscow prior to the end of the USSR. Yeah, not someone I would put on my favorite American list. So is he a socialist, which is oftentimes compared to some of the Northern European countries, or is he just another dirty commie, which is the term that I grew up with during the Cold War, and I believe still applies to people who think communism is a good idea. So Bernie gets his F grade award, this time for pushing to investigate war crimes against Israel for defending itself against the monstrous assault at actions against civilians by Hamas and its Palestinian supporters. I make no apologies for supporting Israel defending its citizens and its clear historical right to control its very limited tract of land. It is sad that the Middle East at this point is really beginning to accept Israel, and we've got the Abraham Accords, which have been very successful, and yet we've got clowns like Bernie causing problems. We've got these protests that are completely out of line. And by the way, Bernie is not only our F grade recipient for being the fake socialist that he is, but he also is honored in a funny sort of way. In my book, Bad Deal for America, he does get a face card, and he is deserving of being in Bad Deal for America and his F grade. This is Dr. David Deshine for Saving America. Thanks for joining us. We always welcome your feedback. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.